I didn't say a word when she told me. I just looked at the half-packed suitcase on the bed and then at the heels she only ever wore for someone else, not for me. She stood in the doorway, arms crossed like she was the one being wronged, like I was supposed to cheer her on for doing this. Don't make it weird, Darren. I just want some time to explore myself. Explore herself. That's what she called it. Like she was going on a spiritual retreat instead of walking out on a 4-year marriage like it was a boring movie she'd already seen. I didn't scream, didn't cry, didn't ask who he was, though I had my suspicions. No, I did what I always do. I swallowed it like a coward and nodded, like I was giving her permission to shatter me. She grabbed the suitcase, didn't even look back. But before she walked out, she said something that snapped whatever was left of me. You'll always be my safe place, Darren. I just don't want to live in a cage anymore. She left. I sat on the edge of the bed for 10 hours straight, staring at the carpet like it was going to explain how the hell my life just got turned inside out. And for a few weeks, I believed her. I really, stupidly believed she was just finding herself. That she was going to yoga classes and journaling in overpriced cafes, not doing God knows what with God knows who in hotels she never used to visit when she was with me. I kept the house clean, left her drawer untouched, still made dinner for 2 like an idiot. I even texted her once, just, hope you're okay. She never replied. But one night, I'll never forget this. I came home from work and the side gate was open. I always lock it. I check it every day like it's a ritual. I walk in and I smell her perfume. I nearly dropped the mail. And then I saw it. One of her earrings on the kitchen floor. The one she wore the night of our anniversary dinner last year. It wasn't there in the morning. I would have seen it. So I checked the cameras, because yes, I had finally installed cameras after she left. Not because I didn't trust her, because I didn't trust me. I knew I'd break eventually. I knew I'd need proof of something. I fast forward through the footage, and there she is. Celeste, in his car. I knew it wasn't an Uber because she never got out alone. They parked down the street. She slipped in through the side gate. He followed 10 minutes later. I watched my own wife bring another man into my house like it was some Airbnb she didn't pay for. They were inside for 47 minutes. She didn't take anything. Not clothes. Not her toothbrush. Not even the book she left on the nightstand. She only took him. And when they left, they were laughing. Like this was all some kind of joke. Like I was the punchline. That night, I didn't sleep. Not because I was angry. Not even because I was heartbroken. I was done. And in that moment, sitting in the dark, gripping the phone with that footage paused on her smiling face, I made a decision I never thought I'd make. I wasn't going to beg. I wasn't going to wait. I was going to disappear from her life before she even realized what she lost. And when she came crawling back, and oh, she would, she'd find the door locked, the key changed, and me gone. The first thing I did was uninstall the smart lock we bought together. The one she picked out because it matched her phone's aesthetic. I replaced it with an old-fashioned deadbolt I installed myself, sweating bullets and mumbling curses the whole time. That felt good. Not because I was locking her out, but because for the first time in months, I was doing something for me. I moved all her things into the garage. Every sweater, every curling iron, every stupid mug that said, wife mode, activated. I didn't throw them away. I just didn't want to see them. Her stuff had started to feel like ghosts. Everywhere I looked, I remembered something that hurt. So I boxed it all up and stacked it like bricks between me and whatever heartbreak was still leaking from the walls. That night, I deleted her contact. I didn't block her. I wanted her to see me not respond. That silence would be louder than any fight. The only message I left was a sticky note taped to her drawer. You got the freedom you wanted. I'm taking mine too. Then I vanished from her radar. I stopped posting online. I stopped answering mutual friends. I even took a few vacation days from work and drove 2 hours north to a tiny coastal town where nobody knew my name. I stayed in a cheap motel with a broken vending machine, ate terrible pizza, and walked barefoot on the beach like some wannabe poet. And you know what? It was the best 3 days I'd had in years. I wasn't healing. I wasn't over her. But I wasn't drowning anymore. But of course, peace doesn't last. Not with Celeste. The first message came 4 days later. Just a casual, hey, did you move my stuff? No greeting. No apology. Like she forgot she dragged some stranger into my house less than a week ago. I didn't answer. Then came the second text. We need to talk. I'm coming by tomorrow. But when she tried, she found the locks changed. And that's when her tone really changed. The calls started coming fast, one after another. Then the angry texts. Seriously, Darren? You can't just lock me out like a stranger. This isn't how adults handle things. Oh, now she wanted adult behavior? I didn't reply to any of them. I left my phone face down on the nightstand and read a paperback novel like I was in another universe. And in a way I was. Because the version of me that used to cry over her, he was gone. But Celeste, she wasn't done. Not even close. That Saturday night, just as I was brushing my teeth, I saw headlights flash through the window. I peeked outside. She was parked in front of the house. Engine running. Hazard lights blinking. And she was standing on the porch, barefoot, in leggings and a hoodie, hair pulled up like she'd just rolled out of bed. I didn't open the door. She knocked, then rang the bell, then banged. Darren, she yelled, open the door. You can't ignore me forever. I stood in the hallway, just out of view, heart pounding. Not because I was scared, but because part of me still wanted to open it, still wanted to fix her, still wanted to believe the woman I married was still somewhere in there. But I didn't move. Eventually, she sat down on the steps. I watched her through the peephole as she scrolled through her phone, probably waiting for me to crack. I didn't. After an hour, she left. The next day, I got a voice message. Her voice was shaky, quieter. Darren, please call me. I messed up. I know I messed up. I thought I needed space, and maybe I did, but it wasn't supposed to go like this. And that was the moment I realized something that nearly knocked the wind out of me. She didn't expect me to move on. She expected me to wait. She didn't want a divorce. She wanted freedom, with me on standby. A backup plan. An emotional safety net. But I had cut the net, and now she was the one falling. The day after her voice message, I got a knock at the door again. Not her this time. It was a delivery. A box of her things, returned from wherever she was staying. No note. Just her handwriting on the tape. Since I can't come inside. The pettiness was real. I took it straight to the garage without opening it. But that same night, I made a mistake. I checked her social media. I don't know why. Maybe I wanted proof she missed me. Maybe I just wanted to torture myself. But there she was, tagged in a photo from someone's rooftop birthday party. Hair curled, drink in hand, smile so fake it practically squeaked. She wasn't alone. That guy was next to her. Not holding her. Not kissing her. Just close enough to confirm my gut instinct. And someone in the comments said it straight out. Celeste and Weston looked good together eyes. Weston, she once told me he was just a trainer at the gym. I had actually thanked him once for helping her stay motivated. Now I felt like I'd handed my marriage to him on a silver platter. So I did something impulsive. I went to that same gym the next day, pretending to inquire about a membership. And yep, there he was. Weston. Real tan, real teeth, real smug. He didn't know who I was at first. But when I said, "You trained Celeste, right?" he smirked like a man who thinks he won something. "Used to," he said. "She hasn't been in for a week." "Really?" I asked. "Because you two looked cozy on Saturday." He raised an eyebrow. "You're her ex?" I didn't correct him, just nodded. "She said you got jealous when she wanted space. You tried to control her. That true?" That's when I realized how deep the lies went. She had rewritten the whole narrative for him. "Sure," I said, smiling like I wasn't about to throw up. "Guess we both know what jealousy looks like now." And then I left. I didn't confront her. I didn't call or text. I just let her sit in the silence. Until 2 nights later, when she showed up again. But this time, she wasn't alone. It was just past 9 p.m. when I heard the knocking again. Not gentle, not patient. This time, it had urgency. I looked through the peephole and froze. Celeste was there. Hair messy, eyes swollen. But what stopped me cold wasn't her. It was the woman standing right behind her. A stranger, maybe mid-30s. Red leather jacket. Arms folded like she'd been dragged into this and hated every second of it. I didn't open the door. Not yet. I just shouted through it. "What do you want, Celeste?" Her voice cracked. "I need to talk. Please, Darren. Just 5 minutes." "And her?" I asked, still not moving. There was a pause. Then the woman answered for herself. "I'm Weston's wife," she said, sharp and dry like a slap. Or I was. "I guess that depends on what your wife tells you tonight." My stomach dropped. My hand went numb on the doorknob. I opened the door. Celeste tried to speak first, but the other woman stepped forward. "Name's Naomi," she said, eyes locked on mine. "I figured if she won't tell you the truth, I will. You deserve to know the full story." Celeste groaned and covered her face. "This is not how I wanted." Shut up, Celeste, Naomi snapped. You had your chance. What followed was 20 straight minutes of truth I didn't ask for, but definitely needed. Naomi told me she had been married to Weston for 6 years, that she'd found messages between him and Celeste going back months. They didn't just start seeing each other after Celeste left me, they'd been flirting long before. Emotional cheating, late-night messages, sneaking off together while I was still clueless, and cooking dinner for a woman who already had one foot out the door. I stood there listening, feeling like the floor under me was collapsing in slow motion. And then Naomi dropped the final bomb. They weren't just together, she said, glancing at Celeste with something close to disgust. They were planning to move in. Weston already signed a lease. She backed out 2 days ago. I blinked. She what? Celeste finally looked at me. Her voice was barely a whisper. I couldn't go through with it. Naomi rolled her eyes. She didn't choose you, Darren. Weston dumped her when I threatened to take everything in the divorce. She had nowhere else to run. I think I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because the whole thing was so pathetic, it had crossed into surreal. Celeste started crying. She reached for my hand. I made a mistake, she said. A huge one. But it's over. I swear it's over. I pulled my hand back and looked at Naomi. Thank you, I said, for telling me the truth. She nodded and turned to leave. But Celeste didn't move. She stood there, trembling, mascara streaked, waiting for some sign of forgiveness. But all I gave her was silence. She didn't expect that. She expected a hug, a breakdown, maybe even a second chance. But she got the same thing she gave me. Nothing. After Naomi left, Celeste didn't speak. She just stood in the doorway like someone who'd been caught stealing, trying to figure out if they could cry their way out of the consequences. I didn't invite her in. She tried to lean on the doorframe like it was still her house. It wasn't. Not anymore. You should go, I finally said, keeping my voice as flat as possible. Her bottom lip quivered, and for a second I thought she'd argue. But she didn't. She just nodded, turned around, and walked slowly back to her car. For once, she didn't slam the door or try to twist the story. She left in silence. The moment I locked the door, my knees gave out. I sat on the floor with my back against the wall, staring at nothing. I felt hollow, like I'd finally finished a long, brutal movie where the villain gets away and the hero just walks off bleeding. But the silence didn't last. 2 days later, she texted again, then called, then texted again. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Please let me explain. You don't know everything. What we had, it wasn't fake. She had the nerve to call our marriage not fake, after sneaking another man into our house and lying about self-discovery while planning a move-in with him. I ignored her, but she didn't stop. The next day, I woke up to a handwritten letter taped to my door. She had come during the night. It was 5 pages long. I only read the first 3 lines. Darren, I know you hate me right now. I would too. But I swear to you, Weston was a mistake. You are the only man I ever truly loved. I folded the letter and tossed it in the drawer with the spare batteries and things I never touch. Her words didn't deserve the dignity of fire. Still, something wouldn't let me rest. Maybe it was curiosity, maybe just self-hate. But I opened my old email account, the one I hadn't checked in months, and there it was. A forgotten folder titled CL and D. We used to write each other emails for fun, like little love notes when we first got married. I don't know why I clicked it, but when I did, I noticed something strange. The last message in the thread wasn't from me. It was from her, dated 6 weeks ago, and it wasn't sent to me. It was a reply to Weston. Somehow, one of her emails got saved to this folder by mistake, synced from her phone, maybe. And there it was, sitting quietly like a loaded trap. I'm not sure how much longer I can pretend. He's so clueless it's painful. But once the lease clears and Naomi's out of the picture, I'm done playing house. That wasn't love. That wasn't a mistake. That was calculated. I stared at the screen so long, the light started to hurt my eyes. And in that moment, something inside me clicked off. The part of me that wanted her back, that hoped for redemption, that believed in old memories, it all went dead. And that same night, like the universe was waiting for me to finally bury the past, something unexpected happened. I got a text from someone I hadn't seen in years. Her name was Lainey. She just wrote, "Hey stranger. Random, I know, but I'm in town for a while. If you ever want to catch up, I'd love to grab coffee." And for the first time since Celeste left, I smiled. I didn't answer Lainey right away. I stared at the message for a solid hour, rereading it like it might vanish if I blinked. I hadn't thought about her in years. We were close in college, not romantic, but always circling that line. She moved away for grad school, I got married, and life did what it always does. It shoved us in separate directions. But now she was back, in town, and texting me like no time had passed. I finally replied, "I'd like that." We met 2 days later at a quiet cafe on the north end of town, one Celeste would never be caught dead in. No photo walls, no mood lighting, no overpriced lattes with oat milk hearts. Just coffee, wooden tables, and windows that didn't pretend to be mirrors. When Lainey walked in, I swear the room brightened a little. She looked happy, real, no act, no bitterness, just a soft, genuine smile that didn't feel like it had a secret behind it. We talked for hours, about everything and nothing. She asked how I'd been, and I actually told her the truth. Not all of it, not the hotel footage, not Weston's wife, but enough. She didn't try to fix me. She just listened. And then, halfway through her story about moving back for her dad's surgery, I saw something over her shoulder. Celeste. She had just walked in. I don't think she expected to see me there, especially not with someone. Her face froze, like she walked in planning to buy a muffin and got hit with a brick wall instead. Our eyes met. I didn't wave. I didn't look away. She didn't come over. She just stared for a beat too long, then turned on her heel and walked out without ordering a thing. Lainey turned around. "You okay?" I smiled. More than I've been in a long time. That night, the messages from Celeste exploded. Missed calls, voicemails, paragraph-long texts. "Who is she? Are you dating already? I didn't think you'd move on that fast. You said you still loved me." That last one made me laugh out loud. I didn't reply to any of it. She couldn't handle it, the reality that I wasn't broken anymore, that I wasn't on standby while she figured herself out, that I wasn't waiting around like a loyal dog hoping for scraps of affection. But she wasn't done trying. The next morning, I found something on my porch, a small photo album. It was filled with our old pictures. Wedding day, anniversaries, the road trip to Colorado. Inside the front cover, she wrote, "Please don't erase us." But she never asked what I had discovered. She never apologized for what she said in that email. She wanted forgiveness without confession, a reset without accountability, and I wasn't giving her that. So I packed up the album and dropped it at her mother's place with a sticky note. "I didn't erase us. You did." And for the first time in forever, I didn't feel like the weak one. I didn't expect peace, but I also didn't expect sabotage. After I returned the photo album, things went quiet for a few days. No texts, no calls. I thought maybe, finally, she got the message. Maybe seeing me with someone else had finally snapped her into letting go. I was wrong. It started with the subtle stuff. Mutual friends suddenly stopped replying to me. People I hadn't spoken to in weeks were cold when I bumped into them at the grocery store or in the parking lot at work. One even asked, "Hey, didn't think you were the type to cheat on your wife." Cheat. Turns out, Celeste had been talking. A lot. She told people I had emotionally abandoned her, that I was controlling, manipulative, and started seeing another woman while she was just working on herself. She played the victim perfectly, the broken wife who tried to save her marriage but was pushed away by a bitter, jealous husband. I couldn't believe it. The same woman who snuck her affair partner into our house, who got exposed by his own wife, was now flipping the narrative like a seasoned politician. I confronted one of our old friends, Pete, who had suddenly started ignoring my calls. "You believe her?" I asked. He looked uncomfortable. "I mean, she said you left her, that she begged you to go to therapy and you refused." She said what? I didn't even argue. What was the point? If someone could lie that easily, and others could believe her that quickly, I didn't want to defend myself. Let them talk. But it hurt. Not because I needed their approval, but because it showed me how fast people disappear when you're no longer useful. Only Lainey stuck around. She knew the truth. I told her everything. Finally, the email, the night Celeste brought Weston into our house, all of it. Lainey didn't judge me. She just sat next to me, quiet, her hand on my shoulder. "Sometimes the person you think loves you is only holding a version of you hostage," she said. "And when you stop playing that role, they don't mourn you. They mourn control." That hit harder than I admitted. But Celeste wasn't done. One morning, I got an email from HR at my job. Someone had anonymously reported me for inappropriate conduct outside of work. Apparently, I had been seen harassing a woman in public and shouting at her in a parking lot. They didn't name Celeste, but they didn't need to. The date matched the night she came to my house with Naomi, the night she had made a scene. I explained everything, showed HR the messages, the footage I'd saved from my doorbell camera, even Naomi's number. It cleared me, but the fact that she tried to use my job against me, that was the final blow. That evening, I changed my number. No warning, no goodbye text. I deleted every message, every photo, every trace of her digital presence from my life. Blocked her email, locked down every account. It was over, really over. And 2 days later, Lainey knocked on my door, holding 2 coffees and a nervous smile. "You said you wanted closure," she said. "I got it," I replied. "But I wouldn't mind a fresh start." And for once, I meant it. It's strange how fast life can change when you stop standing still. 3 months passed. Celeste faded from my life like smoke. I heard rumors that Weston moved on, that she tried to rekindle things, but he was done with the drama. She moved in with her sister on the other side of town. We had no contact, no run-ins, nothing. Until last weekend. I wasn't expecting it. Lainey and I were at a fall market, local crafts, live music, warm cider in paper cups. Nothing fancy, but it felt good, real. I was finally waking up each day without checking for damage. I wasn't over everything, not completely, but I was finally free in a way she never understood. We were holding hands, laughing about something dumb when I saw her. Celeste. She was across the market, near the candles booth, alone. She looked thinner, tired. Her hair was pulled back like she hadn't bothered with it. She saw us. Our eyes met. She froze. I didn't. I squeezed Lainey's hand and kept walking. I didn't break eye contact, didn't slow down. But I didn't stop, either. I just nodded once. Not with anger, not with pride. Just peace. Her expression changed. She blinked like she didn't recognize me. Like the version of me she used to control was gone. And the man walking past her was someone she'd never bothered to know. That moment, that single second, it was everything. Later, I told Lainey. She already knew. "I saw her," she said softly. "You handled it better than I would have." "No," I said. "I just finally learned that she was never really walking away from me. She was running from herself." We didn't talk about it again. We didn't need to. Now, every morning when I wake up, it's not silence I hear. It's laughter from the kitchen. Coffee brewing. A second toothbrush next to mine. It's not about revenge anymore. It's not about what she lost. It's about what I gained the moment I stopped chasing someone who never planned to stay. And now I'm not her safe space anymore. On my own.